about how you're going to pay for all of this. You've worked with Governor Kathy Hochul to get some of the starting blocks in place for universal childcare, for example, which you referenced. When can New Yorkers expect to see full universal childcare? What's the timeline for that?
They will see full universal childcare for 2-year-olds by the end of the first term, and then in the second term, we would pursue fulfilling that for 1-year-olds and those from 6 weeks and above. We've always said over the course of the campaign we would deliver it for New Yorkers from the ages of 6 weeks to 5 years. What we started in this first 100 days was fixing the system for 3-year-olds. We've delivered on that. We're rolling that out right now, and then starting to deliver it for the first time in history for 2-year-olds. And I just want to go back to, sometimes this feels like, just checking off a box on a list that did we do something that we talked about. The importance of doing this is also because of what it means for New Yorkers. We're talking about $20,000 a year that a family won't have to shell out for childcare any longer because they know they can afford to raise their kid in the city they love.
And you have an agreement with Governor Hochul on that. You don't have an agreement with Governor Hochul on raising taxes on the wealthy yet. Will you be able to deliver on your promise of taxing the wealthy to help pay for your programs?
Absolutely, and I'm actually happy to tell you that pied-à-terre tax, that is an agreement that we have to tax the wealthy. Because again, when we're talking about a pied-à-terre, this is a home that is owned here in New York City by someone who doesn't live in New York City, and we're talking about the valuation of which is the super rich, not just of this country, but across the world. I was just yesterday standing in front of 220 Central Park West, and there at the penthouse was a home that Ken Griffin had bought for $238 million. This is the kind of real estate activity that's happening in the city, homes that are largely empty for much of the year, but it all occurs while New Yorkers are hurting in this same city. We're starting to actually bridge that gap, and I'm so excited to be working with the governor on it.
When you talk to New Yorkers, they say they feel like they're already overtaxed. What do you say to middle-class New Yorkers who are worried some of these taxes could wind up impacting them?
I tell them, unless they make more than $1 million a year or own some of the most profitable corporations in our city or have a second home that's worth more than $5 million, then these are not taxes that apply to them. And what I've sought to make this city the most expensive in the United States of America is one that's affordable for the people who have been priced out of it. And that's why I have fought for a vision that looks to ask those with the most to pay that little bit more so that everyone can live here.